Welcome, cartel members. Thanks for joining me. This is a special episode, like always. You know, I like to use that term, special, but this one's really special this time, I promise, okay? This is a call to arms, so to speak, a call to move. I need you guys to move your little booties and send me an email to an Anallamericancartelllc at gmail.com. The reason being is because we're taking this shit to the underground. People, we're going grassroots like I predicted, like I said. Now, we got some backing by a certain famous Tim Pool. Now, he's a wonderful man. I'm going to let him speak to y'all here in a minute. I really want you guys to send me an email so I can put you on a list, okay? And when they shut this shit down, I can maybe email you too. Now, we're also going to maybe go to a popular up-and-coming app called Signal. Elon Musk advertised this, but I fear that it's going to end up like Parler, another company that looks all good and fancy schmancy, and we all, migrate over there, and it ends up being a complete wash, right? So I kind of had predicted that Parler was going to end that way because I saw that they were taking down websites even, and they're very powerful people. Now, speaking of very powerful people, Daddy has very powerful enemies. If you don't believe me, go Google my name, Julio Jaquez, that's Julio, last name Jacquez, and then type in after that verses. And I'm versus a lot of people, right? And go check out the images and you'll find a person that is worth hundreds, if not more, hundreds of millions of dollars, okay? Very powerful enemies I have. Now, these people have the ability to erase stuff off of my emails, through their friends, people that are fangless. Don't think I don't know. And they're listening, I know, and they know who I'm talking about. But regardless, they got emails, they got my KAPPY emails. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. They got the KAPPY emails. What can I tell you? All my images, my HD images, they erased them all. Now, a lot of people, I've already published them. I already made what I could make out there, but the HD was hard to publish because obviously it requires lots of data to push through to upload, right? And I'm a Scrooge when it comes to data because it takes forever. So I didn't upload the high definition ones. I kept them for myself, and I think I could still get them. I still have the same connections. I just got to ask if you're listening and you have the HD images, please email me at Anallamericancartelllc at gmail. But also, speaking of my powerful enemies, I fear that they have gotten to my CASHAPP deal. So if you can donate a penny, I don't know if you can even donate a penny on that thing. I don't know. I never donated, or I've never even used the app until recently, and I started receiving donations. We're at $111 of the 150. So understand that I'm trying to get to the 150. Tomorrow I'm gonna go pay whatever's left out of my own pocket because it's my channel. I don't mind investing in myself, so I'm gonna go. You guys got me to 111. I need 160. I'll spend the 50, 40, whatever extra it is out of my wife's check. It's partially mine, I'm a housewife, right? But soon enough, maybe if you guys donate enough, I don't have to call myself a housewife and I can freaking, anyway, we're not going to go there. So anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that if you could just donate a penny just to show me that the account is active. In the first hour, I got $100 pretty much, and then it just stopped. And not a single penny afterwards. And it kind of struck me as curious. I mean, I'm not saying you guys, it just strikes me as curious. It doesn't strike y'all as curious. You know what I mean? You would assume that slowly maybe $1 or $2 would trickle in here from there from my supporters. And the views have kind of been going slow, but going up still from what it was when I got the first, $100 in that first hour. So that's okay if you guys can't donate. I completely understand. I mean, I'm not in any position to donate, so I wouldn't expect anybody to be able, anyway, just if you can, please donate a penny, $1, or if you want to donate more, if you just, haven't gone around to it, please do so tonight so I can see if the PayPal is even still working, still receiving payments, because I'm a little concerned, like I said, because I have very powerful enemies. They've shut down my Teespring. They've shut down my websites, my t-shirt sites when I was trying to make money, which I never did. God's honest truth, anyway. So these are very powerful people. So I'm facing them head face on by myself. Just like KAPPY was, kind of the same enemies KAPPY was facing. Actually, they are the same enemies KAPPY was facing. I just don't have all the intel that they would want to come and kill me like they killed KAPPY. But they want me quiet, and so they'll do anything. They want a lot of us quiet, and so they'll do anything they can. They have connections to the what do they call it? To Silicon Valley. They could do all kinds of things. So just let me know what happens if you click the PayPal or the Cash App link. My Cash App is is a cash symbol, I guess, with in all capitals, no spaces. It's Cartel Member. So see if you can do it. I'll leave it in the description below. Check the description below for that and my email address. Please email me because I want to be able to keep us networked together, and you'll see why. I'm going to let Tim Pool take over from here and explain why and what we're all doing and how the underground is working. So please stay tuned to the end of this video, and I'll have some more kind words for you at the end of this video. So please just stay tuned to the end of the video and listen to what Tim Pool has to say for you. These guys are really wise.
In the past several years, we've heard that deplatforming works. These leftist journalists who advocate for banning people keep saying, see, they're gone. Deplatforming the person made their ideas go away. Because these people live on Twitter. They don't understand how ideas work, and they don't understand that you can't just disappear people. Banning them is the equivalent of covering your eyes. Their ideas don't go away, and the mob is still at the gates with pitchforks. We're now hearing that the online far right is moving underground, downloading apps like Signal, CloutHub, MeWe, Telegram, Rumble. Signal is an encrypted communications app used by anybody concerned about privacy and security. I recommend it. It has nothing to do with the right going deeply underground. It has to do with you stomping them underground and them still doing what they want to do. In fact, all this does is make everything worse. What's that I hear? The left saying, but look, we deplatformed these prominent right-wing figures and it worked and everything's back to normal. Were you sleeping on January 6th when people stormed the Capitol? What happened to all the deplatforming you did? Oh, maybe they'll say it's in spite of the the platforming still helped. It would have been worse if we didn't. Okay. Alex Jones was still there. You banned him, removed him from everything, and then all he did was create a proprietary platform, his own version of YouTube, and he gets tons of views on it. He made a video calling for peaceful protest. He's seen at the Capitol. Now, mind you, I believe the video is him saying, don't go inside the building. The point is, Alex Jones is still prominent among many of these individuals. In fact, I did 2 podcast episodes with him. He's still there, his ideas still exist, and he still pulls in a tremendous amount of influence. He's still selling supplements. You did nothing to stop him. The only thing they do by sweeping everything under the rug or trying to stomp it underground is make it so they can't influence people anymore, and they make it so that they have no idea what these people are doing. I'm sick of talking about it. I really am. You know, maybe just in the next few days, I'll focus on stories that have nothing to do with this. The media, I believe, is getting desperate. They've built up an enterprise off of Orange Man Bad. You want to talk about the culture war and the 2 main factions that I believe were the belligerents? It's Trump and the media. Choose your side. I think the media was awful and Trump wasn't that bad. That, I think, easily defines where people will put you. Who do you trust more? Now, I'm not saying I trust Trump completely like many of his most ardent supporters did, but I knew for a fact that they had lied about so much having to do with Trump. Now, Trump certainly lied as well, often. Come on, he's in politics. But it was just so egregious, the amount of lying they would do about the guy. It was insane. The left believes the media is telling the truth and that Trump is the one who lies all the time. And that's the game. Now, as they seek to ban and silence and shut everyone down, all that's happening is that these individuals are finding other ways to communicate, creating underground networks. Well, that's what Axios says, going underground. They nuked Parler. They are doing everything in their power to crush these ideas and this ideology. And the scary thing is, it's all based on a lie that all of these people are white supremacists or far right or what other nonsense. And the more they do it, the more they radicalize people. I want you to take a look at this story from the Washington Post. Talk radio owner orders conservative hosts to temper election fraud rhetoric. They say Cumulus Media, which employs some of the most popular right-leaning talk radio hosts in the United States, has told its on-air personalities to stop suggesting that the election was stolen from President Trump or else face termination. A Cumulus executive issued the directive on Wednesday, just as Congress met to certify Joe Biden's election victory, and an angry mob of Trump supporters marched on the Capitol, overwhelmed police, and briefly occupied the building, terrorizing lawmakers and leading to the deaths of 5 people. We know what happened. Take a look at this quote. "We need to help induce national calm now," Brian Phillips, executive vice president of content for Cumulus, wrote in an internal memo, which was first reported by Inside Music Media. Cumulus and its program syndication arm, Westwood One, will not tolerate any suggestion that the election has not ended. The election has been resolved and there are no alternate acceptable paths. Memo reads, "If you transgress this policy, you can expect to separate from the company immediately." Boy, am I glad I never signed with this company. They do a lot of the top podcasts. And let me just first say, Brian Phillips is right. We do need to help induce national calm. Well, whatever that means. I can't tell people what they can or can't do, and what they choose to do is entirely on them. I don't view myself as a broadcast arbiter of truth, someone who dictates to the masses. Quite the contrary. I've always said I'm just some dude complaining on the internet, and that's still how I see myself, which is why it's so strange, to be completely honest. When I have all of these lefties coming at me and accusing me and writing about me, and I'm just like, I just turn on the camera and talk about my feelings and what I think. And, I want to better understand what's happening and give my thoughts and opinions. I suppose there are many people who are like that, but I guess many who work in broadcast media traditionally, like at radio stations and at these big news organizations, view themselves as the dictators to the masses. I don't view myself that way. So it's probably why, people are going to give me thumbs down on a lot of videos. I got a ton of thumbs down on my video yesterday, and I had a lot of people complaining, and it's like, dude, I'm going to tell you what I think. If you don't like it, well, that's too bad. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm a dude who turns on a camera and just talks about what I think, what I see, what I'm learning, what I think might happen, and how I feel about it. Now, I personally think right now it is imperative that everybody calm down, because we do not want... Look, China is growing out of control. They're planning beaching drills for Taiwan, and we have to cross our fingers and hope that in the event of some kind of Chinese military incursion into Southeast Asian territories that are not theirs, the United States can help keep the world stable in that capacity. But if we crack now, then they can just do whatever they want. Now, I think Biden's got problems, and I think there's a bunch of people who are going to be in government who will praise and maybe help China. But I don't know. I worry about what happens if we get a true conflict, a true civil war, and we don't want people dying. We don't want the chaos. But I feel like because of the media's obsession and desperation, it's going to happen. I want to show you this thread from James Lindsay, a very astute individual. He is one of the foremost experts on wokeness. James Lindsay, referencing the story, says, "They've become so accustomed to just manufacturing whatever public sentiment that they want that they don't realize that there are limits to the magic of alchemy. And with hundreds of millions of people around the world, the spell is already broken." He references the quotes I just read about inducing calm. James says, this is no small point here, by the way. They literally believe they can manufacture, by engineering the discourses, whatever public sentiment and mood they want. They think they can induce national calm by censoring people and tailoring what people hear and say. It's absolutely crucial to understanding what's happening now to understand the idea of, quote, discourse engineering, where they believe they can do social engineering by changing what people talk about and quite clearly achieve virtually any end with it. Yesterday, I made a video and it got, I think, like 20% or so thumbs down. Typically, my videos throughout, the past several years have been getting 99% thumbs up, even when I was critical of Trump. But now there's a break. I've been getting around 92% thumbs up. So, look, much respect to the resilient individuals who disagree with me and still watch. And there are many people who disagree with me and gives me a thumbs down and have been calling me a sellout or insulting, whatever. Listen, I don't control what you think, and you don't have to listen to what I have to say. I don't think that what I do is causing these things to happen. In fact, quite the contrary. People come to my content because many probably already agree. And when they don't, they leave. I can't tell you or anyone else what to think or believe. Maybe I'll say some things and you might say, that's a good point. I didn't consider it, and maybe you'll say, Tim's so dumb. I can't believe he said that. And then you will leave. So no, I don't believe that I have the ability to induce anything. I can ask politely. I can say, I think this is important and I hope you agree. And many people will say no. And they tell me as such in comments and in emails. And it's your right to do so. Perhaps these people in media do not understand what the internet and the information age revolution has brought us. More egalitarianism, I suppose. You don't control what people think. So therein lies the big problem. Sweep it under the rug, they say, and hope no one notices the rug is extremely lumpy and there's actually some bodies under there. They think they can just induce calm. That's right. If all of these people just tell everyone to do it, they'll listen. No, I'll tell you what would happen. If Ben Shapiro went on his podcast and said something like, you must do X and this must happen now, and then just gave this, a contrary opinion or an opinion that defied the facts, people would just say no and they would leave. This is the big difference between most people who are watching content like this and the mainstream media. I think what people need to realize about the content I do is that I get corrected all the time because there are people who actually read the news and then watch my content to get more of a view on what else. So I'll give you an example. Fake news comes out about Trump. They hear it's fake news. They want to know more. They come to my channel and there I am breaking down why it's fake news. And they say, interesting. That's what I thought. I looked it up and I saw it was fake news. The mainstream media people, they just watch the mainstream media and assume it's all true. They don't Google search. They're not fact checking. And the reason, I've talked about this many, many times. When you go on YouTube, you have to choose to search for a topic. When you watch the mainstream media, you just listen to whatever they tell you is happening. Which brings me to the next and most dangerous aspect of what the media has become. You can't induce anything. The people that you think you are stopping are still talking. They're not going to stop talking. But let me show you the mainstream media. New York Times writes how Trumpism may endure. The Confederacy built a lasting myth of victory out of defeat. Trump and his followers may too. Oh no, Trump's going to endure. What do we do? If Trumpism keeps going, the Atlantic, how MAGA extremism ends. If Trump keeps losing, the risk of future violence will abate. Oh, I'm so relieved. Trump keeps losing. It's going to finally stop. Oh, thank my lucky stars. That New York Times story had me really worried that Trump would endure, but then the Atlantic said it would be over. So, oh no, the CNN is writing Trump is over, not so fast. What do you mean not so fast? Do you mean he's still here? He's coming back? But wait, the USA Today says Trump can't be silenced even by Facebook and Twitter, but we can prevent another Trump. Oh, it's finally over. You get the point? They'll write whatever they have to write if it's going to get traffic. They will write endless garbage that contradicts itself. You read this stuff and you are fed this stuff and you have no cohesive, logical thought pattern. You're simultaneously holding fractured views about the end of Trump and the beginning of Trump and how Trump can't be silenced and we're going to prevent another Trump, but Trump isn't over. Not so fast. Which is it? Maybe banning all social media really is the answer. But I don't think so. I don't really believe that because the cat's out of the bag. The technology exists. The blockchain is here. Mesh networks exist. There's an app you can get that allows you to turn on Bluetooth and then create a mesh network communications. You might have no Wi-Fi, no cell service, but the Bluetooth transmits data between all the other phones and it works. It's really quite incredible. I was on a cruise once and there was no cell service and no Wi-Fi. And so everybody was told when you were boarding to download this app and turn on Bluetooth. You could then send a message to someone and here's what happens. You've got 4 people, persons 1, 2, 3, and 4. Person 1 is at one side of the cruise. Person 4 is at the other side. And then in the middle is person 2 and 3. If I want to message the person at the other side of the boat, I send the message. The Bluetooth jumps from person to person in between until it finally finds the intended recipient. Brilliant technology. You cannot crush ideas. They're bulletproof. They can't be arrested. They can't be censored. They can't be silenced. Now you can censor the people. You can try your hardest to crush the ideas, but even in China, it doesn't work. Many pretend it doesn't exist. Many hide, but the ideas persist. Now, the authoritarians can crush dissent. They can use military might and force, but in today's day and age, you cannot destroy ideas. Now, I'll tell you, they sure wish they could. They're probably wishing that people just didn't know. Ignorance is bliss, and that's true. If the only thing you knew was the Great Reset, you'd love it. If you're born into it, you'd love it. And that's where I think we are heading, and that's what they're hoping to accomplish. It's why they're trying to fracture the family. It's why left-wing activists, they want to fracture the family. They want to change the curriculum at schools because they need to indoctrinate youth. It's quite eerie because there was someone else who talked about doing that, a really nasty guy, beyond nasty, probably the nastiest, one of the nastiest, talking about World War II Germany. This guy was a monster. And we recently heard there was some woman giving a speech, some Republican, where she said, you know, I'm not even going to repeat the words she said. You get the point. They want to indoctrinate kids. They want those kids to grow up knowing this as their only reality because ignorance is bliss. It's almost like the allegory of the cave, I suppose. It also reminds me of Stargate. You ever see the movie Stargate? Back in the 90s. So the movie is basically about people. They find this machine that teleports them to another world. They encounter a group of people who are, let's just say, I don't know if primitive is the right word, but undeveloped culture. And they were basically slaves. At one point, someone tries drawing to show them a symbol, and they freak out because writing was forbidden. By restricting the ability to transfer knowledge, they kept these people as slaves. Harriet Tubman also has a very famous quote, "I have freed many slaves, and I would have freed many more if only they knew they were slaves." It's an interesting idea about knowledge and access to knowledge. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe it creates chaos. I don't know. But I happen to fall on the side of, I believe people have a right to know. The public has a right to access information and to understand how the world works. But the authoritarians don't. They're worried about a future where the world is out of control, resources are being stripped, bare, the planet is being stripped bare, and then we ultimately destroy ourselves. That's the world they see. And I understand it. And I respect their concerns, but I don't respect authoritarianism, and I don't expect the idea that they are morally superior to anyone else. Thus, this isn't the inherent problem. The people who think they're smarter than you and should control you and your ideas and restrict your ability to do things might be wrong. It just so happens that many of these people are hypocrites who call for these COVID lockdowns and then go out and party themselves. So why would I trust they are right? That's why you don't let these people have power, because they're corrupt. A decentralized system is substantially better than a centralized one. I'll be the first to admit, even if it results in people giving me a thumbs down, that we are facing serious challenges on this planet. People have told me, Tim, the overpopulation thing is a myth. Maybe, I don't know. What I do know is I have personally gone and witnessed some of the destruction we have seen to the environment. I have gone and done interviews and talked with scientists and looked at the plants that are causing the dead zones in the water. Maybe the videos aren't real. Maybe it's all propaganda. Maybe you can believe what you want to believe. But at a certain point, you've got to choose what you trust to be true. We had a PhD pathologist on the IRL podcast who said resources are being depleted. Insect populations are collapsing. If that's true, we're in very serious trouble, and we need to do something about it. Now, I respect that. I don't know what that something is. I had Alex Jones on my podcast, and I said, what if the Great Reset people are right? The planet is on the verge of collapse, and they need to take dramatic action to prevent us from essentially being like a yeast in a bottle, eating all the sugar and farting ourselves to death. And Alex said it's a good question that he struggles with himself. It really is a great philosophical conundrum. What if they're right? What if they're wrong? And who do you trust? It seems like most people aren't going to trust the authoritarian politicians who defy their own restrictions. And I think for good reason. You tell me the planet is in decay and on fire, and then you own multiple mansions on the beachfront and you fly in planes. I'm sorry. I have no reason to believe that you're being honest. But I've personally seen things that freak me out. I've seen the jellyfish fisheries. Have you seen this? The jellyfish taking over areas because the fisheries are collapsing. I've actually gone to California and seen one of these areas devastated by desalination, where the brine was being pumped down into the water and it was purging basically the bottom of the food chain. These are serious, serious problems. They think the way to solve the problem is to lie to you and not tell you the truth. Maybe. They think the issue is there are grifters who would lie and manipulate you into not believing it's true. Well, I blame them for being hypocrites and for not putting their money where their mouth is. I blame the elites who would buy beachfront property while claiming the water is going to rise and wipe the property out. Certainly, you don't care if that's true. People like Newsom and Whitmer and Lori Lightfoot and Nancy Pelosi who say COVID lockdown and then defy the COVID lockdowns. So what do? Actions speak louder than words. If they won't lead by example, then why will people trust them? The only response they have, I guess, is rules for thee, but not for me. You see, I think what's really happening is these people truly believe the world is in jeopardy. I think we have serious problems on this planet. I wonder why they're not calling out China, by the way, or India, or at least enough. And I think what it really is that these global elites, these individuals, these multimillionaires and billionaires, they want to live lives of luxury. There are threats to this planet. Overpopulation, to a certain degree, overpopulation is a problem. The problem isn't so much about livable land. It's about the consumption of resources, fossil fuels, namely. I think many of these elites are concerned that we could deplete fossil fuels and then they would have to live like peasants. So here's the compromise. Cut everybody off now, and then you get to live in luxury, thus creating a permanent upper class and a permanent lower class. I'm not a fan. These people are insane. The media is addicted to Trump. They won't give it up, and they're going to try and crush your ideas thinking that it will solve some problems. It won't. It never will. The technology exists. They'll try. They'll try and shut it all down. But hackers exist. Now, one thing I think they've done remarkably well is co-opting hackers. Finally convincing them to support the state has been truly, truly impressive. Some of the people who used to hang out with some of the most notorious far-right hackers have been desperate to separate themselves because photos exist of them hanging out. And so they'll try and do whatever it takes. That means supporting the state and the establishment and the war machine because they don't want to be ostracized. But the ability to understand, break down, and analyze systems and recalibrate them for different use will never go away. And that means so long as technology has progressed to the point where we have rapid communication, you cannot silence ideas. You can maybe slow them. You can kick them off your platforms. But people won't forget them. They'll hold them. They'll talk in private. Maybe getting rid of bars slowed these things down and tried to curtail these ideas. But if you think Trump was the cause of right-wing populism or nationalism, you are wrong. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. Perhaps you need to have a calm and rational discussion to figure out the best way forward so that people can compromise. And then maybe in 100 years and 200 years, we'll have worked towards a better future that we can each respect. Right now, they're saying no compromise. Let's talk about that. In my next video, let's talk about the attempts to expel Republicans, the 14th Amendment, and how serious this is going to get. The next segment will be at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimCast. It's a different channel from this one. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.
So there you have it, guys. Just wanted to get back a little bit to the emails. I need you guys to email me. Also, I'm going to open up a Signal account so I can contact you guys through that. We'll try it out. I'm down to try out new technology. Maybe it's protected, especially since Elon Musk, who is also an enemy of the people that are after me and that were after Cappy. Believe it or not, yes, I bump elbows with Elon Musk in a weird way. You'll find out if you do some proper digging, and that's another thing I need to bring up to y'all. I'm gonna be teaching lessons here on how to dig properly and motivating you and pushing y'all to dig. So the first couple of episodes on the KAPPY'S Cartel channel, here's a breaking secret. If you stayed long enough through the video, you get this little Easter egg. It was meant to teach people to dig. If they would have just went into the comment section, they would have seen some stuff. If they would have went into the description, they would have been able to email me and gotten confirmation that I'm okay. If they would have been able to call me, text me. Some people texted me and I responded to them. You get where I'm going with this. So I'm gonna require a little bit more effort from y'all, not just donations. Don't give me no donations. Give me your time. Give me your effort. You understand me? That's what I really need. That's what I'm really aiming for. If I can get some of y'all to make your own channels and become cartel member channels, affiliates, and let me promote you and all that stuff, and we can create this network of channels where we all cross promote and we all we're gonna become the news. I mean, I basically am the news now, and I am failing left and right. I can't keep up, guys. Come on, let's be honest. I'm a one-man machine here. Can't keep up with all the breaking news. There's times, look at all the KAPPY stuff I just missed out on. So with that said, I'm gonna require some effort. What you can do, if you can't do much and all you can do is watch and be informed, then by all means, be informed. All I'm trying to say is that if there's a little bit of effort left in you that you can push towards finding KAPPY'S killers, fighting the Illuminati, fighting the deep state, supporting the United States in all its endeavors, and please, take that extra step. Now, if you're busy working like a lot of you are, and you can only support the people that are out there on the front lines, that's very valuable. That's very vital. Okay, so feel free to donate to my Cash App. It again is a cash symbol, with cartel member after it, all in caps, no space. I'm gonna leave a description below so you guys can check it out. Try to send me $1 or $2 so I can see if it's working, please. I'm at 111. Our goal was 150 to 160 for a phone so I can get internet. I run my internet off of 2 phones. My phone broke, and so I don't have that internet. So I'm running my internet off my wife's. Both the lines are in my daughter's names. They're the student plan, $10 plan. That's why I say my daughter's, but it's whatever. It's the other line, we're all running off the one line, and you can imagine what my speeds are like. So uploading videos, breaking news and all that is killing me. And then after I reach that goal, of course, I'm going to set another goal. Not to be greedy, but we're trying to build a channel, and it has growing needs. You understand? It's hungry, and I can't feed it no more. You understand? It's beyond me at this point, with all the people that are tuning in and that want to watch live and are sending me tips and telling me, hey, can you get this out there? Hey, can you get this out there? And I see all your messages of wanting me to get stuff out there, but I just can't, guys. I can't get everything out there, and I'm in the middle of doing my own little projects. And so at that moment, when you guys tell me that stuff, I'm just taking that opportunity to be informed. Maybe make your own channel. And I'm not saying that mean. I'm just saying, maybe since I can't, don't be afraid. It's not hard. It's free, and I can help you. Email me at anallamericancartelllc@gmail.com. I'm telling you, I will be able to help you. I have a team ready to help you, if anything, to promote you, to make you YouTube famous if you want, okay? All it takes is balls and effort, okay? And if you don't have balls, fallopian tubes, I don't know. Not to be disgusting or rude. I'm just talking from the heart to you guys. So with that said, if you see this image here, it is a girl with a ghost kitty there. This is going to be my daughter's new intro. Please be sure to try to find her channel. I'll leave it in the description below as well. If not, just email me and ask me, and I'll send you the link. Please start communicating with me through email so I can get you guys on a list, so I can keep sending you awesome videos without YouTube's help. That's all I have for you guys, and as always, you know the routine. To God be the glory.